So this is how your secret society, Yale, is controlling our country. Yeah, Yale. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. There's so many secret societies. I didn't know there was more than Skull and Bones. There's more. There's Scroll and Key. There's Wolf's Head. So the top three secret societies, but they're all pretty big. Your very wealthiest one. And back in the late 1800s, there were students of the student paper that fought getting rid of these society systems because they took over Yale, they said. They asked the students to rise up and vote this society system out. That's what they called it, a society system, meaning your elites. And that's what they are. They're no different than the World Economic Forum, of course. I mean, like many of them are at the World Economic Forum. The top three are Skull and Bones, but they're not the wealthiest. Scroll and Key and Wolf's Head. Scroll and Key is the wealthiest with over 10 million. These aren't just fraternities. These are corporations and trusts. So one alumni then goes on, all of them do go on to invest more into Yale or open another secret society. And so it just builds after that. So just think about it. If they were already having problems back in the late 1800s with Yale, and it's like the science is what also created for the degree system and you extending more time being in school. Yep. They all did it. They all they would put, alumni would put all this money towards a secret society, then reorganize, take over the college, reorganize everything the way they want it, perfect way. Then you can create a bunch of people that then go on to be astronauts, be Supreme Court justices, be in at all your highest political levels, be at the biggest law firms, control the country, media. There's so many, all these people that from even names I didn't know, but nobody graduates from Yale without getting in some big time gig, but especially if they're in a secret society. And I don't know if you can be on the campus without being in one. There's so many. So let me just tell you. So just so people know, some alumni out of our Supreme Court justice from Yale: Clarence Thomas, Sonia Sotomayor, Samuel Alito. And then CEO of Blackstone is graduated from Yale. And so you have to realize if they got into these clubs, and they're not just clubs, they're just syndicates, because they're gonna that's why they get their big high positions, is because they're willing to go along. So they really, it's a manipulative thing, because like Skull and Bones, it kind of tricks them into it because it gives them some money and all that. Think about it, a young kid. Of course, they're easy to take advantage of. But then once they have them there and they give them all these great gifts and shower them with these things, they're tied to it. That's what they're loyal to. They have to be, because it's a syndicate. Not like you get to just leave it. And as you can see, there's the Bushes, there's the Clintons, the Obama, all of them have gone to Yale or Harvard, some both. The only politician I found actually that said no, that was recruited by Skull and Bones, was Joe Lieberman. Some people may not remember him, but he actually, when he was on the Yale campus, he would write in the student paper against Skull and Bones. And so they, even with him doing that, tried to recruit him, and he didn't want anything to do with them. There's a couple other people, I didn't recognize their names, that also were recruited and they weren't interested. But once you get in it, you're stuck. It's your Sopranos, but it's your society of elites. That's the only difference. Doesn't make them good. So and as I said, in 1873, there was dissatisfaction on the campus, and so they put in the paper about let's advocate for ending the society system. And it said, out of every Skull and Bone, it was opined, out of every class Skull and Bones takes its men, they have obtained control of Yale. Its business is performed by them. Money paid to the college must pass through their hands and be subject to their will. It's Yale College against Skull and Bones. And this was before the other one. Since then, there's been more, because they did try to rise up and revolt against it, but they were outvoted. So just think about how much power they have now. So they're a big problem. Again, Ron DeSantis graduated from Yale, just so everybody remembers that. Wolf's Head. So Wolf's Head is one of these. I'm not going to go in deeply into these. It's considered one of the top three with Skull and Bones. So it's active for undergraduate membership. It is elected annually with 16 Yale University students. And then you have to realize that they were once called the Third Society, but then they changed their name to Wolf's Head. So what these are is no different. So Skull and Bones is your World Economic Forum. Scroll and Key is your World Economic Forum. It's your society of elites. That's what it is. They took over Yale, and then they restructure everything, and they make getting your education longer when it doesn't have to be. Why would they do that? Because they can spend more time indoctrinating people, having more control over the country, because they all go on to get into big positions. And they had a big society for anti-Masonic. Just saying. Think of that what you will. The faculty, and most of the faculty in the administration is from Skull and Bones or a secret society or is alumni. Like, it's just a big damn mob scene at Yale. Let's just face it. The faculty and administrators were dominated by alumni of Bones, numbering 4 out of 5 faculty members between 1865 and 1916. So it's like there's a Yale corporation. I mean, it's just, but all the secret societies have corporations and trusts, so they have all this money. And then the new alumni that then go on to graduate, they just keep giving back to it. So that's why it gets more and more money. And then the other, there's one I wanted to talk about, the Book and Snake secret society there. It's dark. Their secret societies are dark. So like the symbol for Book and Snake, you can just imagine, but it's the symbol of the dragon or the serpent eating its tail. So, I mean, just think about the name, Skull and Bone. I mean, they're all dark secret societies. It's dark. And it's tied up with your science and medicine, fortunately. So the Society of Book and Snake, and it's incorporated as the Stone Trust Corporation, is the 4th oldest secret society at Yale and was the first society to induct women into its delegation. Book and Snake was founded at the Sheffield Scientific School in 1863 as a 3-year society bearing the Greek letters Sigma Delta Chi. As other because Sheffield was the name of someone that was short for chef, as other chef societies, it was once residential and maintained a separate residential, and then it puts the address here. Members who lived in the society lived in the residence. And then it goes on to talk about where the building is where the building is today. It's still in it's not been dismantled or anything. It's still operating. And the Book and Snake emblem is a book surrounded by the Ouroboros. Ouroboros is the snake that's eating its tail. So, yeah. So Scroll and Key is the most wealthiest of the society systems there, which is over 10 million. Skull and Bones, over 4 million. But there's more. The other secret societies, St. Elmo's is on Yale campus. St. Elmo's, let's see, Wolf's Head, Book and Snake, Elizabeth Club, Belzarius, St. Elmo. Yep, those are 7 of the wealthiest. But there's many others. So this has to stop. These are all just syndicates, and they have been controlling our country, and they are all in the highest of positions, from astronauts to Supreme Court justices to presidents to congressmen, all of them. It's the universities that are destroying the country, along with others. But they're one of the biggest problems because all their people go on to get into the people that control the country and decide our laws.